Ciao Fabri, welcome back in our
Ciao guys.
podcast. Today we speak about Liverpool because it has been a really disappointing start of the season, especially the last month. So let's start from here. What's the feeling in the club about the situation?
Yeah, it's a difficult start of the season for Liverpool, that's very clear, in terms of results, in terms of number, in terms of attitude. Complicated, really complicated, but internally at the club, and when I say the club, it means obviously the directors, the owners, but also the technical staff, the players. They all know it's a complicated season, obviously, after what happened in the summer, and also time to adapt to some changes. There have been changes in terms of new players joining, new style when you add these kind of players. So many changes compared to last season, when the squad was basically the same, only with the addition of Federico Chiesa at the very end of the summer transfer window 2024. And so it's a completely different situation on the mental point of view, on the tactical point of view, adding new players. So Liverpool, as Arne Slot also mentioned sometimes, anticipated some sort of problems for the start of the season. Of course, not at this level, not to lose 4 Premier League games in a row. So it's not an easy situation at Liverpool. They are working on this, but they expected some changes to happen, and this is why in this moment is not a total alert around the squad. They know that something should be fixed, but again, Liverpool remain confident, absolutely confident on their project.
You already touched on the point of the manager, Arne Slot. There were a lot of positives, of course, last season, his first season in charge at Liverpool, about some negatives in this first part of the season. What's the feeling around in the club about the position of the manager?
I want to be very clear on this, as we are receiving many questions also in the comments on our podcast here on Men in Blazes about Arne Slot, but my understanding is very clear. For Liverpool, he's considered absolutely the perfect man to manage the squad, the perfect coach to help in this situation, to keep building, to continue with this project. So there is nothing at all in terms of thinking about a change or maybe considering different candidates. Zero, nothing about it. Total confidence in Arne Slot. Again, it's a difficult season for Liverpool for several reasons, but at the same time, Arne Slot is considered the perfect man to help with this. Also among the players, I can guarantee the atmosphere is very good between Slot and the players. There is no problem, no issue, no fight, nothing negative is happening in this sense. They need to work. They need to keep working harder, probably, because obviously after winning the Premier League this season, everything is different. Also the style, new players joining. So it will take some time, probably, to adapt. But at the same time, Liverpool have total confidence in Arne Slot.
Touching on some key players, of course, that are involved in Liverpool this season. Let's start with Mo Salah, of course. Is there any kind of concern about his situation and his future at Liverpool as well?
No, at the moment, no. It's just important to say that after what happened last summer, Mo Salah was one of the players, the most affected players by the situation. And so it's been a difficult year, I would say, for Mo Salah since what happened last summer. And so for Mo, on the personal point of view, on the mental point of view, it's not always easy. We know Mo is a very emotional guy, but at the same time, on the technical point of view, Liverpool, Arne Slot himself, from what I understand, have no doubts about the performances of Mo Salah from now to the end of the season. They are sure that Mo will be back scoring goals, making the difference. He scored in the last game. Okay, it was a useless goal because they lost away, but at the same time, Liverpool maintain total confidence in Mo Salah. They know that this moment will be over, that Mo will be back at his level, and so no concern and total confidence in Salah.
Another player, probably the first big signing of the summer, was Florian Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen. A big story also for us this summer. It was a difficult start, of course, also for him. What's the feeling right now for him?
Yeah, it's been complicated. In this case, Liverpool feel that is really tactical point. Okay, of course, there is also the adaptation. There is also a different country, a different league, a different style. So these are also factors. But Liverpool are convinced there is also the tactical point of view. What Florian Wirtz was used to do at Bayer Leverkusen under Xabi Alonso is not what Florian Wirtz has to do in a different approach, of course, from Arne Slot. Then the player remains an excellent player, and so Liverpool have zero doubts about that. Are very happy with their investment, are convinced about what they're doing, because don't forget it was Arne Slot that helped Liverpool having a direct conversation with Florian Wirtz face to face when Wirtz was a top target for Bayern and for Manchester City, and Arne Slot was driving this desire to have Florian Wirtz as part of the squad, and this has not changed. They remain convinced at Liverpool that Wirtz is going to be perfect for what they want to do for present and for long term. But again, at the moment, We are still all waiting to see the best out of Florian Wirtz since he joined Liverpool. So at the moment, working hard, trying to change the situation, especially on the tactical approach more than other things, because Wirtz is working very hard and Liverpool are sure about their investment.
On the other hand, probably the biggest saga of Liverpool this summer was Alexander Isak from Newcastle, of course. What's the feeling right now for him?
For Isak, it's different. In this case, it's considered something very physical. So while for Florian Wirtz is seen as a tactical approach, in this case for Alexander Isak the point is really physical. Don't forget that Arne Slot also mentioned that a few weeks ago. Alexander Isak basically didn't have any kind of preseason, okay? He was working separately from the group and also working with a private trainer, but it's not the same thing as having a proper preseason starting in July, working for 2 months till the Premier League starts, and so it's something completely different. Also on the mental point of view, Isak was basically in a kind of war with Newcastle to leave the club and have the opportunity to go to Liverpool. So it's been a complicated summer, especially on the physical point of view. And so Liverpool are convinced that as soon as the player will be back in good condition, he's gonna shine, he's gonna score goals. So again, Liverpool are not worried about these two signings. It's just a matter of short time in their point of view in order to see Isak and Wirtz performing at their normal level.
Let's now talk about the future, the imminent future of Liverpool next year. Can we expect something from them in January 2026 in the transfer window?
Yeah, there are many links especially with defenders after the injuries and after several problems they had, especially with Mark Guehi, who was basically a new Liverpool player on deadline day in the summer, and then the deal collapsed because of what happened with Palace. But what we can say on Liverpool is that at the moment they are very happy with the squad they have, so they are not working on any deal for the January transfer window. Then still 2 months to go, so many things could happen. We will follow everything in case Liverpool decide to make something happen, maybe based on injuries. We will let you know, but on Mark Guehi, what I'm told is that Liverpool remain one of the clubs interested in signing Mark Guehi. So Guehi remains on the short list. But first point, there are several clubs interested from Spain, from Germany with Bayern, from England as well. So there are several clubs interested. And also that the focus, as of today, this can change, but as of today, remains on signing the player in the summer transfer window. So the preference is a free transfer for Mark Guehi. Liverpool are aware of that, and so let's follow the situation. Interest remains, but it's not a done deal at this stage.
And what about Federico Chiesa, a player that had a lot of up and downs also in this first part of the season, his first Premier League goal, but also not included in the Champions League squad and included again. So what's going to happen with him?
Yeah, it's been a strange start of the season for Chiesa, also because at the very beginning of the summer transfer window, the plan was to leave, and then, as you mentioned, everything changed several times, also with Arne Slot and with the management. The desire of Federico Chiesa is to finish the season at Liverpool and then assess the situation in the summer transfer window. So when Chiesa goes public and says, I want to stay here, I want to compete for my spot, is the reality. Chiesa wants to continue at Liverpool. Then obviously he wants to play, he needs to play. Otherwise in January, I would not be surprised if Italian clubs return to the table and try again to get Federico Chiesa from Liverpool. I think this might happen, they might try, but at the moment the desire of Liverpool and Chiesa is to continue together. So I don't think it's going to be an easy move for the January window, but interest remains, and so we have to follow the game time for the next 2 months. At the moment, I can guarantee the desire of Chiesa is to stay, is to fight for his place and do his best for Liverpool.
Talking about contract, is Liverpool working particularly on some contracts in the squad or no?
Yeah, one I wanted to mention is Ryan Gravenberch. Ryan Gravenberch has been probably one of the most positive players in terms of performances at this beginning of the season, and Liverpool are very happy with him, out of contract in 2028 after he joined from Bayern a few years ago. And what I can tell you is that Liverpool are preparing a discussion with his agents over a new contract. It's not something advanced at this stage, so Liverpool have not prepared a new contract agreement already with Gravenberch, or are not directly negotiating with Gravenberch yet, but the idea internally at the club is to have a conversation with the player, is to start talking as soon as possible, and so keep an eye on Gravenberch, because I think in the next months there will be talks over a new deal with the player very happy at Liverpool, and with Liverpool considering him as one of the best midfielders in the world.
Other contracts that you wanted to discuss about Liverpool?
Yeah, one more is still staying in the midfield, because also Dominik Szoboszlai is out of contract in 2028, and Liverpool are also thinking about the possibility to discuss with his agents over a new deal. So Ryan Gravenberch, but also Dominik Szoboszlai. These are two topics that Liverpool would like to discuss as soon as possible. Obviously, it's going to take some time before they can sit and prepare a proposal. Also, the salary is going to be an important topic. but Szoboszlai is doing fantastic. We said about Gravenberch, but also Szoboszlai is playing in several positions, midfielder, attacking midfielder, defensive midfielder, right back when he's needed. So he's always covering several positions, and he's always one of the most professional players at Liverpool. His performances have been excellent. His numbers speak for Szoboszlai. Even when Liverpool are losing the games, if you look at the stats, always Szoboszlai is one of the best. And so Liverpool want to reward the player, want to discuss a new deal, and so I think this could be another topic for the next months.
Last one for today. Do you have updates on Konate?
No final decision yet, but the conversation is still ongoing between Liverpool and the agents of Ibrahima Konate. As we always mention about this topic, remember that Konate is out of contract in the summer 2026, and so it's a urgent topic for Liverpool. But in October, 1 year ago, October 2024, the agreement over new deal was almost done. Then some conditions changed. Then the conversation continued with Ibrahima Konate in the last months to discuss and try to understand if they can find a way. So at the moment there is still no agreement, but there is a conversation. Let's see, because interest from Real Madrid remains, and not only Real Madrid. There is a lot of interest in Ibrahima Konate, so I think now it's on the player to decide whether he wants to stay at Liverpool or this is still a very concrete possibility to leave the club and try a different kind of experience.
All right, Fabri, thank you for today. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Ciao, guys.